You know, you mentioned not spending very much time in the bubble this year, and that's because the Islanders, I think they won in 4 games. So obviously a very difficult team to play in that qualifier series. What stood out to you about them, and what's made them so difficult to play against this year?
It's a consistent team that's committed to defending. I think since Barry Trotz has been there, that's been their staple, and I don't think they get a ton of credit for what they can do offensively. I know in our series, Eberle and Beauvillier were fantastic offensively. They have steady D. They can put in guys that aren't even playing right now that have helped them, I think, defensively as well. I mean, they just got a number of guys that can really contribute in a lot of different ways. They got a lot of 200-foot players, I think, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So it's just a disciplined team that is obviously with some super skill with Barzal and Eberle, and I think Nelson's had a really good playoff. He's definitely a difference maker, but even Derek Brassard, who's come in and he's been scratched some games, he's come back in, he's contributed offensively. I think they've got a number of guys, they got lots of depth, and they've certainly bought in. They were very difficult to play against.
I almost think you could say the same thing about your state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning also. It's a different Tampa Bay team that we've seen in previous years, where now they can win ugly. Before, They always win pretty. Now they can win ugly. Talk about the games you played against Tampa Bay and how tough they have been this postseason.
Well, I think they've certainly added an edge that was there sometimes, but they've made it a consistent part of their game. They're just – when they have the puck, obviously they're difficult to defend. They have so many weapons and so much depth. They have, guys playing 10, 12 minutes that would be playing 20 minutes on other teams as top-line guys. And so many guys up and down the lineup can do it. They have they have a luxury on the back end to put different guys on that top power play unit, and it kind of works its way out seamlessly, I think. And then, in net to get Vasi, who's obviously, he's a top 3 goalie in the league pretty much every year, it seems, right? And so I think what they've done, I think coming close and deciding that this is a way we have to play, they've become comfortable playing a hard game. And then when they get the puck back, you can see what they can do with it. So it's an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, I was just you kind of just led me into my next question there. What stood out to you in game 1 between the Islanders and the Lightning, other than the score?
Well, I mean, it's again, maybe with Vasi there, if they gave up a chance, it was he's just so solid. But again, they can transition. They're defensively. I think they can make a pass up to their forwards, and they're in the zone with numbers. I think they all can skate. They can all come back. They're responsible defensively, and there's not really any holes in their game right now. And then if you want to push and shove, they're all standing up for one another and playing that gritty game. They can get under your skin just as easily as any other team. And a team with that much skill, you wouldn't expect it. And I think they learned lessons last year from Columbus and how that went. And they decided that that's not going to be how the story ends this year.
How important is coaching in the postseason and the regular season too? Coaching, I think, has changed over the time since I played in the league. Before, you could just tell a guy to run through a wall and the player would automatically run through the wall. Now you have to explain to the player why he has to run through that wall. And if the guy doesn't buy into that, he's not going to do it. And we're seeing Trotzy and Coop in Tampa Bay, and we're seeing DeBoer and even Rick Bowness in Dallas. You play for Q also in Florida. Talk about how you've seen the evolution of coaching, how important it is in today's NHL.
Well, it's just from a player's perspective, right? Because I've never had that been on that side of the bench before, but it's just interesting when how certain coaches can push different buttons, and you can take a team that looks like something on one night and make it a totally different team a night or two later in a playoff game, or a couple meetings if you have a couple days off during the regular season can turn your team around totally. Bringing attention to the areas that you think will change your team, whether it be a D-zone scheme that changes a little bit. It could be a small adjustment that makes people understand and get on the same page, or a motivational clip where it's like, and it could be, hey, you could be putting somebody on the video and kind of embarrassing them and saying, what are you doing here? And it could be a leader on your team or something like that. And then the younger guys can look at it and say, if he's doing that with him, like what am I doing type thing. There's different buttons you can press. There's different tactics you can do. I think the coach really has to know his team, you know, for those to work. And sometimes they might work a little, but you'd still fall short. There's so much that goes on, managing personalities. And then I think doing it in maybe a 10 or 15 minute window, because the attention spans aren't, you know, as players aren't as broad as some other guys. You want to get out there and you want to go to practice, or you want to get out there and have your, you know, warm up before the game. So those meetings you're trying to just get through sometimes. For a coach to be able to command the room and find out what's the most important thing to say in those 10 or 15 minutes and get that message across for his team to do it, I think it's an impressive thing.